Well, today you join me on Stafford Moor, and so far it has been absolutely boiling. It's already hit about 29 degrees today. It's finally just started to cool down. The sun's still peeking over the trees directly in front of me now. But on the bright side, we got into one of our top choice of swims, and there is some carp here still. They haven't spooked out when we were casting leads around, so could be a good sign for the night coming. So far we've caught nothing. We've been there for probably 6 hours or so now, and we weren't really expecting much. You know, that's so much heat on the water. The fish are just more interested in sunbathing, and all they've done is just followed the sun round as it's just. They're on the left hand side where I'm fishing. My dad's on the right, and they just followed out. They just followed where the sun went. So hopefully, our plan is, well, our thought process is, when that sun backs off tonight, for example, they're going to get down the feed a bit more, and hopefully they're going to scoff our K5 and B5 boilies. But while we're here, we're also going to do a bit of a comparison with our competition. Which bait's going to win, the K5 or the B5? Let's see who wins. As expected, the day passed really slowly, and as we also thought, with no fish. But the night suddenly became more seeable, and the heat started to drop, which meant we had more of a chance to get one of these carp. Well, we've got off the mark with this lovely 16-17 pound common. A bit of a weird take, a series of drop backs and a bobbing putting up to the top again. Then I figured I should probably hit that, and it resulted in this. And then I was temporarily winning. The K5 was one up. It's just I got this fish in the net. My dad's rod went off as well. So it's 2 fish so far this night. I did miss one earlier, unfortunately. Not too sure what happened, but everything is looking good. This is from a little K5, little dumbbell wafter, just to the right end of the island. Job done. Job done. Let's get this one back.
First fish of the night. Mid-20, low to mid-20. Haven't bothered weighing it. Water's really warm. Weather's been warm. Can't keep these fish retained. On B5. Happy with that.
It's so hot today. It's actually ridiculous how hot it is. It doesn't feel like England at all, you know, like it's 32 degrees today, 32, and there is literally no let up in the weather at all. It's just straight, there's no clouds, it's just straight up sun. So fishing day is pretty much ruled off, you know, unfortunately, as that car alarm goes off in the background. But the plan is, I'm just going to get a bit of bait out there, just leave the rods out the water and just let the swim calm down a little bit. Now I had 2 pickups last night. I caught one and lost one. So the fish were feeding in the night, so my dad had one as well. So fortunately his was bigger. So I don't know what the rules are, if it's weight or if it's amount. I'm going to amount of fish, so it's 1-1 right now. But I'm just going to put out about 2 or 3 kilo of K5. I'm going to make him a nice mix, let it soak for a little bit in the glug. I'll show you what I'm going to do anyways. I'm going to bait it up with 2 or 3 kilos, just going from one margin to the other. Just have a nice spread along that far side. And I reckon when the fish start getting feeding later on, it may be the winner. But I'm going to leave the rods out. I might put one rod out, but I'm going to make sure everything's done by 3 o'clock. So then my bait's in the water, let them soak in the water a little bit, soften up. And then hopefully when the carp come along later on tonight, or just when it gets dark, baits will be there, lines will be settled, and I'll get these fish before we leave tomorrow. Let's hope we can keep this up. We're doing well in this weather, we're doing really well. But this buoy mix Literally consists of 2 bags of K5. This is just a little 1 kilo bag. Got a pretty little title there. It's nice and easy to use, these are. Over the top of that, I'm literally just using the liquid carp food. Liquid carp food just brings it all together, gives it a bit more attraction. And I think them two have been the real difference. The people on the other side, just past the bridge, they've had a few fish, but not as many as we've had now. So we're doing well. This heat has really made it hard. You know, the day bite's pretty much out of the equation. It's all night time. So as it's so much little bite time, I've got to have a certain amount of confidence using. So I've got K5 out there. I've got 2 kilos in there, just soaking in the liquid now. I'm going to put it from one corner to the other and just bait up that margin. And my idea is when the carp, when it gets a bit darker, cools down a little bit, the carp out here are going to get their heads down and start feeding. But that's still if they do, because last night I do think they moved out. A lot of them did anyway. To get a lot of line bites on my bridge rod, so could be a good sign, might not be. We did have a few fish, of course, for a couple, but compared to what was in here, that's nothing. But I'm going to put a bit more of this bait out. This should keep them in the area. It's a mixture of 16 mils, half, you know, it's half boilies and whole boilies. That liquid on top, jobs are good. So I'm going to spread that out there now. I'm going to let that mix soak for a little bit so it draws in that attraction. And then see if this can make the difference again. Fish have literally just left the area, so I'm going to get some bait out now while I've got the chance. I don't want to spook them off, so that's why I'm doing it now. I'm going to cover this margin, and in about an hour's time or so, I'm going to get my rigs ready now. I'm going to get these rigs out in the next hour or so, and just leave it for the night then. But this heat is really switched it off, so got no time to waste. Let's get these baits up before these fish return. The ducks also seem to like where I have my baits, and unfortunately that kind of ruled out that area of fishing. The rigs I've been using for the session is so simple. Just 2 standard hair rigs. The one in the middle is a bit more complex, but it's an IQD rig. On hook baits we've got 2 K5 balanced dumbbell wafters. In the middle you've got a K5 balanced wafter. So all fishing wafters, different shapes, hopefully trick up this carp. While acquiring the help of modern day technology, I was able to drive the boat right under the trees into the carp's home. I'll be honest, much better than my casting. Oh, the light's definitely starting to drift away now. Getting a lot of action on all 3 rods, just line bites left, right and centre, so it's definitely a good sign, definitely a good sign. And there is a few carp rolling as well, so there's definitely fish in the area. I've had to move my right hand rod because I kept getting picked up by ducks, and it's just going to be one of these times, it's going to hook one. So I'll move that back down to the bridge, cast over to the far bank and just load it in. Just a like, little 10 boilie stringer, all K5 of course. And then through, just scattered around half boilies under the bridge like I did earlier. So I've topped up what bait was out there. I've got 3 baits now on spots I know will catch, well I'm hoping will catch. And yeah, let's see what the night brings. I'll tell you what, it's nice right now though. just enjoying it while it's cool. You know, 5 hours ago it was 30 odd degrees, it's brutal, so this is definitely a nice change. But let's see how productive a night is, if it is productive that is, and see if we can catch any fish. Here we are, I got a bit of a lively upper double mirror, just weighed it a bang on 18 pounds. Put it down. I'm being beaten up. There you go. K5 doing the job yet again. Right into straight ahead in the bay. I put the bait bow right in there under the trees. Really did the job. Based it out with just a mixture of halves and wholes. My dad's also had one. He had this little 2 or 3 pounder. I done a little video on the net. It just wasn't worth getting the camera out for it. It was that bad. But I think that makes it 2 if you can count his was small.
Which you can.
I mean, this definitely tops it. And I've not had a mirror for a long time, so I'm more than happy with this one. And on that note, I'm going to put you back. After catching the upper double mirror, my dad went on to catch 2 smaller ones. Not really worth doing photos with, as the water was so hot. So we just unhooked them and released them. Well, that's our trip over at Stafford Moor. Caught some here as well. That went well. Try doing an outro. That's what I get in return. Oh, popped off. 2 big sticks.
Some massive twigs that have fallen.
There are, aren't there? Well, to be fair, that is where I caught my fish though, but that has absolutely wrapped around that twig. Well, like I was saying, that's the end of our trip at Stafford Moor. We have 5 fish in total. I did lose 1 fish last night, unfortunately. Not too sure what happened, but the hook just slipped. But there he is. But yeah, so Dad had 3 on B5, I had 2 on K5, so you can technically say that B5 won if you want to count his £3 pasty last night.
You do. Fish is a fish is a fish. I would have counted a bream.
A bream. Well, I'm going to count that rod I caught over there on the surface.
Yeah, but I had a rod as well.
I've also got someone's line. I'm helping the environment at the same time. But that's our session done. We get packed up now and get back home out of this heat. I'm going to wait now until it's cooled down a little to go fishing again, because that was brutal, wasn't it?
Yep.
So, no, that wasn't very nice, but the night's definitely made up for it. So I'll see you all next time.
And if you go onto my Facebook page, you can see a half-naked picture of a very pale Tristan.
And that's been sold.
Yes. And actually, paper has more colour.
I'm not even that pale. I'm not even that bad. At least I ain't got a beard belly.
Snow's got more colour.